We have another speaker coming up. Our next speaker is has been involved in climate change initiatives since 2003. She currently leads the Greenhouse Gas Management and Reporting Unit at the Department of Environment and Natural Resources, where she leads the team in conducting GHG inventories, updating the National Determined Contribution, and developing the Just Transition Framework for the Philippines. She also represents the country in international climate negotiations. Previously, she spent 12 years at the Climate Change Commission as a division chief of the Implementation Oversight Division, managing the climate change budget, tagging, GHG inventories, and M&E of climate actions. Prior to working for the government, she worked for 8 years at the Klima Climate Change Center and support the Interagency Committee on Climate Change Secretariat before the Climate Change Commission was established. Ladies and gentlemen, to talk about the Nationally Determined Contributions Implementing Plan, our NDCIP, achievements, shortfalls, challenges, and ways forward, let's welcome Miss Sandy Recabar. Good afternoon, Miss Sandy.
Good afternoon po, isang makakalikasang araw po sa
Isang
ating
mga
lahat.
kalikasang araw po.
And Miss Marie, happy birthday po.
Thank
And
you.
thank
Thank
you
you.
again for inviting us. So, on behalf po of Yusek Anate, ASEC Lenny Uy, and Director Ellen Basog, ako po kasama ni Sir Albert nandito po para po i-accommodate yung request po sa amin ng GC. So, thank you very much again for inviting us. So I'm here. I think this is my third time po, no?
No,
Um, uh,
okay ka na rin.
your activity,
Hall of
but
Fame.
pero I think previously as CCC, so first time as DNR. So allow me to just share my slides po, no, for today. Although I already sent out my presentation yesterday, pero given the discussions that we had right now, nag-add lang ako ng some slides.
Good.
Just to give some background pa, further background pa po doon sa work natin. And it's good that Rodney also has been my friend for a number of years na din. Buti na lang nauna siya sa akin. So nakat na rin yung iba kong mga kailangan sabihin. But anyways, I'm here actually to just talk about actually three things, no? Three sections po yung aking presentation. What is the NDC o yung Nationally Determined Contribution? Ano yung naging implementation plan niya? And then what are we doing now to update the NDC? Because under the Paris Agreement, we are supposed to submit every 5 years our NDC, no? That represents a more ambitious target compared to the previous submission. So kumbaga, so ngayon, they are calling now for countries to submit their updated NDC for the third time. So kumbaga parang third version na rin. But for the Philippines, this is actually our second pa lang po. Because when countries submitted po their NDCs in 2015, we submitted po our intended nationally determined contribution. So kumbaga ito yung balak naming i-commit as a country. But when we ratified the Paris Agreement in 2017, the government mentioned that we will be submitting our first NDC. So, effectively, kung ano po yung na-commit natin, kung ano po yung nai-submit natin na intended contribution, we had to redo it. And then, nag-submit tayo noong 2021. And then, ngayon po yung second po natin. So, anyways, um, I just wanted to share with you that yun nga po no, kanina siguro babalikan ko lang yung sinabi ni Ma'am Vicky earlier. So when scientists noticed that there is significant increase in greenhouse gases in the atmosphere that causes our temperatures to increase, and majority of that is because of human activities. They came together. Ito na po yung sinasabi ni Ma'am Vicky earlier na yung United Nations Framework Convention on Climate Change. That's actually the first time where countries banded together and agreed that we need to stabilize greenhouse gas concentrations in the atmosphere. Now, how exactly do we do that? Sino ang dapat managot, etc. Pinagdebatehan yan, nagkaroon ng negotiations until we had the Kyoto Protocol in 1997 wherein they said historically because it's the fault technically of the developed countries, dapat kayo talaga ang may commitments to reduce emissions. And that's why when the Kyoto Protocol was agreed by countries, may mga targets ang mga mayayamang bansa that they need to reduce emissions at a certain level um, below their 1990 level of emissions and they need to achieve that in the period of 2008 to 2012. So kumbaga kaya very important po yung yung pag-estimate po ng kanilang emissions po, greenhouse gas emissions po nila. Now, fast forward, after the Kyoto Protocol, sinasabi naman ng iba, mukhang nag-iiba na rin yung profile of emissions natin. Kasi at some point, we already are looking at big developing countries who are also emitting even more than the small developed countries. So, ang sinasabi nila, pagdating ng Paris Agreement, compared to Kyoto Protocol na top-down approach, di ba? Kumbaga, may sinabi sila, Japan, you are required to reduce at 6% below your 1990 level emissions. EU, you're required to reduce at 8%, yung mga ganon. But for the Paris Agreement, in order for all parties to be included na rin doon sa pag-contribute to make sure that we stay below the 2-degree temperature increase or at a safer limit of 1.5, they are now asking countries, sige, ano na lang ang i-contribute mo? So, very big shift from a top-down approach. The Paris Agreement is now a bottom-up approach. So, that's why they are asking countries, what can you contribute to make sure that we achieve the long-term goals of the Paris Agreement? So, that's where the nationally determined contributions come in. So, teka lang. Saan na ba yung next slide ko? Ayun. So, ano ba itong NDCs natin? So, the NDCs are actually post-2020 climate actions that countries intend to implement to reduce their emissions. And there are some countries also who included in their NDCs, yung submission nila na ito, yung balak naming i-contribute. Naglagay din sila ng some information on how they would be doing their adaptation measures. So, yung nabanggit kanina ni Rodney, we have two strategies to address climate change. Yun po yung adaptation at yung mitigation naman po, which is to reduce emissions. So, yun po yung contents. Majority of the countries, especially developed countries, ang focus lang po ng kanilang NDCs is actually on mitigation because babalikan nila yung main the focus of the goal of the Paris Agreement, which is to stay below the 2-degree or at a safer limit of 1.5-degree temperature increase. So in order for you to do that, you need to reduce your emissions. That's why ang focus ng ibang mga countries, particularly developed countries, is mostly on mitigation. Sige. Next, ito po ay nung sinabit po natin ito noong 2021, maganda rin pong intindihin po natin ano po ba yung basis ng Philippine government, why we needed to submit our Philippine NDC and why it is structured that way. So first, we wanted to look into the NDC to make sure that it demonstrates also our commitment and leadership in advancing global climate action. And always in the spirit of equity, fair share, mutual trust, and confidence. Second, we want to use it as a proactive stance to curb our climate and environmental pollution. That's considering also ambition natin 2040. Without compromising our socio-economic growth target. So in fact, when the Philippines submitted our NDC, the Philippines ratified the Paris Agreement, may kaakibat siya na state declaration. So mamaya ipapakita ko doon ano ba yung na dapat the Paris Agreement, the reason why we ratified the Paris Agreement is to make sure also that this contributes to our socioeconomic um, growth targets. So any action that would help us um, commit as a party to the Paris Agreement, dapat kino-consider niya lagi yung will it address our poverty alleviation, will it address energy security. So yun po yung nilagay natin when we ratified the Paris Agreement. And therefore, the NDC should reflect that. Third is we need to emphasize yung provision of support. 'Di ba? Kasi nga po, if the main focus of your NDC is on mitigation, we also have to remember in the historical context of our position on climate change, given our vulnerability to climate impacts and our less than 1% contribution to global emissions, naturally the Philippines prioritizes adaptation. And therefore, if you want us to uh, go for or identify mitigation strategies, it has to be supported. So yung tinatawag nga na ayuda kanina ni Rodney, so dapat may ganun po, no? May provision of support because in the first place, hindi naman kami talaga yung significant emitter. But we're very much vulnerable to climate impacts, and therefore, if you want us to reduce emissions, sana naman suportahan nyo kami in our transition efforts. So, and that actually is where the context of climate justice comes in. So, we wanted to emphasize on the provision of support from developed countries based on their historical responsibility. We wanted to also look into the NDC as a platform for us to accelerate our access to key resources for both adaptation and mitigation. That's why in our 2021 submission, hindi lang po tayo nag-focus sa targets, but also we also mentioned our adaptation priorities. Kasi we view the NDC as a space for us to kumbaga to attract investments. So 4 and 5 are basically the same, no? So we wanted to attract investments as we accelerate our climate actions. So ito po 'yun, so ito po, the premise of our NDC is that it should support sustainable industrial development. So ito po yung nakalagay din po sa ating state declaration. Support sustainable industrial development, poverty eradication, securing social and climate justice, energy security, and transformation of its socio-economic sectors towards a climate and disaster resilient and low carbon economy. So, 'pag tiningnan niyo po yung targets po natin, it's a 75, medyo ambitious po siya kasi it's a 75% reduction. But if you look at the breakdown, 2.71 lang po yung unconditional, meaning we will be achieving that using our own resources. And much of the actions that we will be working on to meet the targets will be based on, will be conditional upon the support that we will be receiving. So we've identified, para maalala lang po natin, ang mitigation sectors po natin ay tinatawag po nating AWITFE. So agriculture, saan po ba nanggagaling yung mga sectors natin na nagre-reduce na nag-i-emit, and therefore we need to identify strategies to reduce emissions from these sectors. Ito po yung, meron po tayong 6 sectors, no? So we have AWITFE, agriculture, waste, industrial processes and product use, transport, forestry, kasi po the forestry sector and other land uses po, the forestry sector acts both as a source of emission, but they also serve as a sink kasi they sequester din po. So mitigation strategy din po yung pag-absorb ng carbon dioxide from the atmosphere. And then E is for energy. So ang focus lang po natin at that time are the emitting sectors. So kung mapapansin niyo po, hindi po namin muna sinama ang forestry sector doon sa final submission po natin. So we have identified also some of the agencies who are in charge of identifying ano po ba yung mga measures Ano po ba yung mga policies and measures o yung tinatawag nating PAMs to make sure that we achieve the target. So aside from that, we also have other salient features of the NDC. So na-mention po natin dito na meron po tayong aspirational peaking. So take note lang po na aspirational po siya. Um, but again, we needed more information in terms and we need to do a lot of modeling work also in terms of identifying exactly when to peak. But naglagay lang ng provision at that time ang government that we will endeavor to peak our emissions by 2030 in the context of accelerating a just transition to a green economy. We also mentioned adaptation and identified the various sectors that or the priority sectors for adaptation measures. We also mentioned that we will be exploring the benefits of market and non-market mechanisms. So isa po itong example ng Article 6 na binabanggit kanina ni Rodney. How do we exactly work on Article 6 and also other market and both non-market mechanisms as well as we try to achieve our NDCs. And then ano po ba yung role ng circular economy, and also we also value the knowledge of yung traditional knowledge and public awareness po sa pag-achieve po ng NDC po natin. So yun po yung basic contents ng NDC. So now Secretary Loizaga was assigned by the president to serve as his official representative to the Climate Change Commission because under the law, the president serves as the chair of the Climate Change Commission. So he assigned po si Secretary Loizaga of the DNR to serve as the chair of the Climate Change Commission. And one of the things that she prioritized when she served as the OROP would be to make sure that we finalize the National Adaptation Plan and the National Determined Contribution Implementation Plan. So natapos po namin siya last year. And this was presented in COP 28. So nilaunch po namin siya sa COP 28. So, this contains actually the initial phase. So, ito po yung sinabit po natin noong 2021. Ano po ba yung mga mitigation actions na nandoon? And this was identified also in the NDCIP. So, it also provides us with information on the governance and implementation structures along with yung the need for us to track and to monitor and track progress of the NDC. So, ito po yung tinatawag nating measurement, verification, and reporting. So, ano po ba how do we exactly track that? And then, what is the necessary financing? What is the required financing to implement the NDC targets? So, ito po, this is just a snapshot of some of the policies and measures that were identified for each of the sectors for the NDC. So, meron po kaming kinalculate na mga mitigation, yung GHG reduction potential for each of the sector based on the identified policies and measures. So, hindi po siya kinluster lang po namin ano. So hindi lang po siya yan para lang magkasya lang po dun sa isang slide. So basically, ito po yung mga measures po na kailangan po naming i-implement for us to be able to make sure that we are reducing our emissions. And then magkano po ba yung initial based on initial estimates po namin, ano po ba yung investment cost po for each of the sectors po natin. So, na-identify na po natin for each of that. And then, there are lead agencies who are in charge po of identifying these measures po and work together with the Climate Change Commission to make sure that we are able to do the calculations and modeling work for each of the sector. So, ito naman po, may in-identify din po kaming roadmap. Kung sa NAP, meron po tayong 8 pillars. Sa NDC o yung National Adaptation Plan po natin. So, ito po yung program po natin for us to increase our resilience to climate change. The NDC naman is more focused on the mitigation component. So we've identified 6 pillars to deliver yung NDC for the short, medium, and long term. So first is, of course, we need to deliver the climate action. Ano po ba yung necessary institutional arrangement that has to be put in place? How do we also effectively monitor the implementation? How do we take stock of the progress? Where are we now in terms of um, uh, meeting our targets? And how do we update that? So kasi nga, given nga na every 5 years, we need to also update the NDC, and it has to be more ambitious compared to the previous submission. That's why in Baku, a lot of countries were disappointed in terms of the discussions on climate finance, because the developing countries are saying, you want us to be more ambitious, but the financing that we needed for us to really transition, hindi gano'n ka-ambitious yung target na napag-usapan. So, in fact, the developing countries were asking for at least 1.3 trillion that we needed, trillion dollars that we needed to really implement our climate actions. But the agreement only turned out to be 300 billion. So, better siya sa 100 billion a year, pero 300 billion pa rin siya, which is really short of what we wanted really, as the developing countries are clamoring. So yun nga yun yung naging issue din natin dito. Second is, how do we advance international cooperation, especially given the fact that 72% of our target is conditional. So how do we develop a plan or a program to engage the development partners, the developed countries, in investing in our climate actions? Third is to identify eligible sectors for us to formulate yung trading, yung mga market-based actions po natin. So ongoing po ang work namin on Article 6. So I think baka similar to what we have done for the Just Transition and the NDC kick-off, baka isa din yun sa gagawin namin strategy for the Article 6. So once okay na kami, baka magkaroon din kami ng kick-off for the Article 6 support. Fourth is, how do we strengthen resilience and adaptive capacity? So, ano ba yung mga adaptation co-benefits ng ating mga mitigation strategies? And then, this is where we wanted to see also yung just transition concept. So, at that time, when we were developing po yung NDCIP, we just mentioned, di ba, kasi nakalagay doon sa ating NDC 2021 submission, um, uh, yung endeavor, we shall endeavor to peak, but in the context of just transition. What exactly do we mean by that? So, dito namin minention that we needed to work on how do we align just transition in the development of the NDC. So before po kasi nag-focus lang kami sa numbers, no? So but then there are a lot of things that we needed to look into. So how do we ensure that no one is left behind? So yung mga ganong klaseng concepts po natin, nilagay din po natin doon sa na dapat i-consider natin when we do the roadmap for implementing the NDC. Fifth is, how do we now cascade subnational actions? Kasi we need to establish the link between national targets and subnational actions. Hindi natin masyado kasing na-establish po yung connection na yan. Not just subnational actions, but also actions from, let's say, the private sector. Dahil much of the PAMs that were identified are mostly government programs. And so hindi po namin masyado pang na-identify yung mga activities ng private sector, which could also help us achieve the target. So and then so yun po yung cascading to subnational actions, and also how do we effectively engage the private sector as well. Kasi nung nagkaroon po kami ng mga site visits in some of the regions in I think that was 2 months ago. Marami palang ginagawa ang private sector na hindi namin na take into account. So how do we now reflect that? So yun po. Um, and then ito po, so anyways, key considerations for the NDC implementation. So yun nga po, just transition, and then how do we also look into the gender aspect of implementing the NDC? Kasi nga po iba din po ang epekto ng mga policies and measures natin sa kababaihan, for instance, and other genders din po. So yun din po yung titingnan din po natin. That's why po the Climate Change Commission naman po, they also came up with the Gender Action Plan for the NDC. So paano din po namin yung pagtatahi-tahiin as government din po. So and then local government participation and engagement at saka yung establishment of a risk register. So ngayon, in terms of the challenges namin, marami kami mga naging challenges dito and some opportunities na rin po which we wanted to take stock of as we revisit the parameters as and also as we try to update the NDC. So doble po yung ginagawa po namin ngayon. We are taking stock of where we are now, but at the same time, we are trying to also update the NDC submission. And hopefully, we are targeting to submit our updated NDC by before COP30, which is November of next year. So, ito po yung mga naging gaps and challenges po namin from the first NDC po natin. We identified po na there are not enough PAMs that to meet the 75% target kasi aspirational din po or it was a political decision to and it was a strategy to set the target to at 75%. But the PAMs that were identified are not enough to quantify yung 75% target. We were not able to identify also assess the full potential of the PAMs. So, like for instance po, naku, hindi ko alam bakit may mga nagsusulat na. So anyways, we were not able to also identify the potential, we need to review po yung unconditional targets at saka yung conditional targets kasi napansin po namin that for instance in the climate change budget tagging. A lot of agencies have identified mitigation strategies but we were not able to quantify that. And dahil nga po ito ay pinopondohan naman din po ng government, baka pwede siyang isama doon sa 2.71. So ang sinasabi nga po, mukhang baka madaling ma-meet po yung 2.71 percent, baka kailangan din natin siyang taasan. So hindi pa namin alam ano magiging final figure for the updated NDC pero yun yung lumalabas. We need to review po yung unconditional targets at saka yung balance between the conditional and unconditional targets po natin. And then tiningnan din po namin dahil nga po nilagay lang po namin before na we shall be exploring such measures like Article C, yung carbon markets, etc. Hindi pa po namin siya naipapasok pa doon sa pag-quantify din. And even sa policies din po natin, let's say baka naman po ang dami na palang nag-engage sa carbon markets, wala na matira sa atin. So baka mamaya hindi mahirapan din tayo ma-meet yung target. So may mga ganun kaming tinitingnan din. And then of course lastly is given the non-inclusion of the forestry sector in the first NDC that we submitted, we are now exploring the possibility of including that in the second round in the updated submission. So babalikan ulit namin ano po ba yung potential ng forestry sector, ano po ba yung mga policies and measures under the forestry sector na pwede namin ipasok for the NDC, and then ano po ba yung magiging itsura na nun. So magkakaroon ulit ng modeling work for this. Sa ngayon, the countries na NEDA has included already in the PDP yung unconditional targets. So, yun muna yung kinumit na mga government agencies. So, ongoing din po yung calculation din po ng mga agencies po natin in terms of where are we now in terms of meeting the target. So, I think that's why very, very important din po yung capacity building din po sa amin dahil when we did, yun nga po, as mentioned before, hindi naman din talaga natin priority ang mitigation previously. But now, given the NDC, talagang nag-effort na rin po ang government to identify itong possible ito ang possible mitigation strategy natin. How do we quantify? So may mga ganon. So medyo nangapa kami noong una. So we had to really go over a lot of modeling work. Ano ba yung mga analytical tools that are available for us to make sure that we are able to identify the mitigation potential. But then, yun ay projections. Now we're talking about actual reductions na. So how do we exactly do the quantification as well? What would be the methodology? Same lang ba yun? Etc. So kung halimbawa nag-quantify tayo ng policy, at what stage talaga yung actual na reduction. Dapat hindi lang yung pag-set ng policy, yung talagang pag-implement na. So may mga ganong klaseng mga discussions na rin. And then what would be the necessary analytical tools that we need for that? So yun po yung mga pinag-uusapan din po namin within the government. So ngayon, we are now in the process of updating. So aside from tracking progress of the NDC and coming up with and looking at the implementation na rin of the NDC as previously submitted, we are also working on how do we now update the NDC and increase our climate ambition. We did not do an economy-wide analysis, meaning nagkanya-kanya lang muna yung mga sectors. O ito yung mitigation strategy natin, ito yung potential mitigation action niyan. Pero hindi natin siya tiningnan sa kabuuan, economy-wide. So like for instance po, paano kapag nag-set ng policy let's say si energy sector natin, may policy siya na may epekto pala doon sa mitigation strategy na na-identify ng forestry sector. So, anong magiging itsura niyan? So, halimbawa, paano yung mga waste to energy? So, kung wala ka naman palang masyadong waste na na-generate, or halimbawa, because of let's say, example na lang, effective solid waste management, wala ka ng organic waste na panggagalingan mo ng methane capture mo for your energy. Nag-set si energy sector ng gantong target. So, hindi natin siya nakita yung cross-cutting implications po nun. So, gagawin po namin siya sa updating of the NDC. So first, we also wanted to see how our NDC will be aligned with the outcome of the first global stock take, and how we could improve our alignment with the 1.5 temperature goal. We also need to assess the progress of the NDC. What were the challenges and opportunities? So yun nga po, we are now in the process of revisiting the parameters for this. And then how do we align it with the ongoing initiatives also of the government? Um, And then, of course, develop an updated NDC, which includes also the revised policies and measures. So, yung mga na-identify po ba namin before, what worked, what did not work, what were the issues and the challenges, we had some initial discussions na rin po internally, at least for the DNR, for the waste and industrial processes and product use sector. And then, magsa-start na rin po kami for the forestry sector po natin kasi hindi naman po siya nasama before. And then, how do we conduct the economy-wide analysis and identify the needed resources for that? So ngayon, ang ginawa po ni Secretary Loizaga, so ito pong pag-update ng NDC is being spearheaded by the CCC, of course, and then the DNR in support of Secretary Loizaga as the official representative of the President to the Climate Change Commission. Kaya nga po, ngayon medyo sumasama na rin kami din sa CCC for this. The Secretary Loizaga, taking off from the lessons learned from the previous implementation of the NDC din, napansin po namin kasi na maraming support, maraming development partners there are a lot of development partners who are interested to support the Philippines in updating the NDC. So what we did is we tried to do a strategic approach for mobilizing support and mobilizing financing for the NDC updating. So we created po what we call the DPCG, or the Development Partners Coordination Group. So, so yun po, ang ginawa po namin parang may isa na lang kaming centralized work with let's say ADB. So yun po, ADB. So siya na lang po yung magko-coordinate din with other development partners who will support us with which sector ang kailangan nilang sagutin, etc. Anong section ng anong stage ng NDC kayo papasok, etc. So para lang medyo structured siya and to make sure that there will be no duplication of work and harmonize po talaga yung pag-coordinate din po namin. And then of course, this will be the DPCG is uh, um, may parallel din po siyang work din po sa government side. Ito naman po yung TWG po natin for the NDC. So, ngayon nag-come up kami ng harmonized TOR. So, ano po ba yung i-define natin? Ano ba yung scope of work namin for updating the NDC? And then baka kailangan mag-identify tayo ng we need to identify the specific parameters for the economy-wide baseline scenario. And then we will come up with sector-specific cross-sector assessments kasi nga po doon po manggagaling may mga sector-specific parameters and assumptions din po tayo to make sure that we would be able to finalize the PAMs and targets for the sector kasi hindi po tayo nag-sectoral targets before. Straight up 75%, 2.71 and 72.29 lang po yung before. Ngayon, tinitingnan natin kung possible ba na magkaroon tayo ng sectoral targets or doon pa rin sa straight up 75% general. And then, of course, we need to develop the updated NDC. Um, so again, so ito po yun, ang gagawin po natin is yun nga, nung nag-define po kami ng scope of work with ADB, andun din po yung mga development partners who have signified their intention to support the agencies. So, yun po. So, nagtingin po kami ano po ba yung dapat na focus po natin ng work, etc. So ito po yung some of the activities, hindi ko na lang po iisa-isahin yung mga activities para kasi medyo highly technical po siya. So basically tiningnan lang po namin ano po ba yung magiging focus po sa pag-update ng NDC. And ano ba yung mga major activities na kailangan natin gawin. So yun. So second, meron na kaming mag-update tayo na economy-wide baseline scenario. Although the lead development partner here is ADB, but the government agencies will be working closely din po with World Bank and UK kasi meron din po tayong DOE also has this 2050 calculator. And this was adopted also by the Climate Change Commission. So how do we use that also in the economy-wide baseline scenario setting din po? So, magkakaroon po kami ng economy-wide modeling and analysis of long-term growth. So, ano po ba yung mga parameters na ilalagay natin? Ano po ba yung mga indicators na ipapasok namin doon sa modeling tool po namin so that we would be able to come up with a baseline scenario. So, yun po. So, may marami din po kaming assumptions na gagawin din po dyan. So, ito po ay for the economy-wide baseline scenario. Um, So ayun na-mention ko na. So ano ba yung mga parameters at yung mga factors that are important po in that we need to plug in to the model that will be used po to generate the baseline scenario. So and then titingnan din po in terms of the assumptions also yung mga current economic policies um para po maipasok din po 'yun sa modeling tool. And then, from there, magkakaroon na tayo ng projections na po at sa mga scenarios na po doon sa modeling tool. So ngayon, pagdating naman doon sa cross-sector and cross-sector assessment, so ito na po yung sinasabi po natin, may mga assignments na din po ang mga development partners kasi yun po, based on the guidance also of the OROP, kailangan medyo structured din po kami. And then to make sure na talagang gumagalaw kami in one direction. So ito po, so may mga support na rin po na na-identify. May mga development partners na po who who have signified their support for each of the agencies who would be working on different policies and measures po natin. So, yun po. May mga iba dito ongoing, may mga iba naman, they are in different stages na rin po of discussions na rin po with the different agencies. Pero, more or less, based on the harmonized TOR, medyo may general na kaming, kumbaga, terms of reference, Pero may mga depende pa rin sa mga sectoral discussions naman din po para dito sa item number 3. Um, so ito po, some of the work din po namin, the DOE has already mentioned that we will have to base din po sa Philippine Energy Plan, yung pag-identify din po ng mga policies and measures po natin for the NDC. So, some of the activities po natin, we will review and take stock of the recent developments in each of the sector. We need to update the GHG inventory. So currently we are finalizing the 2022 greenhouse gas inventory po namin. And then next year, well, based dun sa initial discussions namin with CCC, they're planning to do, kasi nag 2022 lang kami for this year. Nag-skip kami ng 2021. So ang balak nila, sana para mag-trend analysis na kami, 2021 and 2023. So, para at least, kasi natapos na namin last year yung 2020 inventory. So, para naman medyo may trend analysis na po kami for the inventory po natin. And then, these are just some of the activities po namin na hopefully po, pag-identify po natin ng additional policies and measures. And then, meron din po kaming gagawin na sector modeling and mitigation analysis for each of the sector din po. And then, magkakaroon din po tayo ng cross-sector PAMs din po natin. And of course, throughout the activities din po, kaya nga po ang very keen din po kami na ma-inform din po yung ating mga stakeholders on where we are now. That's why last kailan ba tayo? December 9. Tama ba yun? Noong December 9, similar to the Just Transition na we wanted to formally inform our stakeholders that we are commencing already the Just Transition, development of the Just Transition Framework. Ganon din po yung in-inform po namin, nagkaroon din po ulit kami ng kick-off to inform also our stakeholders that we will be commencing our work already for the NDC updating. So, yun po yung ginawa namin noong November 9. And hopefully po, in terms of consultations also with the agents, our key stakeholders din po throughout the process. Kasi yun po yung kailangan namin din pong ma-improve based on the previous learnings din po namin. So, very keen din po si Secretary to make sure na alam din po ng mga stakeholders natin where we are now in the process. Finalize the NDC pumps and targets. Of course, after the modeling work, we need to finalize already the NDC pumps, but we need to also take a look at other initiatives to make sure that they are aligned with the work ahead. So ito po. So again, may mga nakatoka ulit na mga development partners for each of the sectors for this one po. And then yung last po natin is the development of the text. Na ito po talaga yung isasubmit na natin sa UNFCCC na ito na yung updated NDC po natin. So, target po namin na matapos po lahat ng technical work by August, to make sure lang po na may enough time po tayo for the political process of the NDC. So, yun po. Aside from that, I just wanted to inform you also that we are developing the long-term strategy. So, na dapat po, naka-align din po dito ang ating NDC work. So, hindi ko na po isa-isahin yan. But also, I wanted to also inform you that we are also in the process of formulating the Just Transition Framework, because before we just focused on the numbers, but then we have to also realize that even in the prioritization of your policies and measures, very important po yung Just Transition. May maapektuhan bang mga workers kapag nagsaka tayo ng gantong, halimbawa, yung mga coal-fired power plants natin, how do we ensure that there is upskilling and reskilling of the workers, etc. So how do we make sure that when we transition towards a cleaner and climate-friendly development pathway, hindi po maiiwan din po yung ano natin, yung mga vulnerable sectors din po natin and ecosystems natin. That's why We wanted to also make sure na yung work po namin with Just Transition, parallel din po siya sa gagawin namin for the NDC. So please expect that we will be organizing some stakeholder consultations in the as early as first quarter of next year. So currently, we're just finalizing po yung stakeholder mapping po namin, and yung clustering ng mga sectors. So siguro po, if you have some suggestions din po on how you would be able to improve on this, and even to take part of the consultations din po namin, we would very much welcome po your inputs po for that. And we needed to also look into yung pagda-draft na po ng analytical work natin. And so hopefully po matapos din po namin yung Just Transition Framework para meron din po tayong sabay po siyang ilo-launch din po hopefully sa COP30. So I guess that's the end of my slide. Thank you very much.
Thank you for that very comprehensive laying out of what's happening and what is about to be done.